Thanks for coming out and watching the Oxymoronic Reddit Professional Show, where I showcase the best and worst of the internet. Here I comment on brilliant and hilarious comment chains regarding dumb shit on the internet for you to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with a new video. Enjoy this week's show.
If you're ripped off by Comcast, or any internet company, Wells Fargo, or any bank/student lender, or Aetna, or any health insurance company, here's how to get your money back. The types of problems could be billing, they overcharge you; service, you're not getting what you're paying for; unfair and deceptive practices, you were tricked, or more. All of these complaint systems work in 2 weeks or less, and it's awesome. It's sort of crazy more people don't know about them. Internet. Banks/student loans/credit reports/debt collectors, etc. Health insurance. Google, state where you live, health insurance complaint, and select the government agency that will let you file a consumer complaint. It's usually an insurance commissioner. Cable. Cell phone. Other company, home security system, eBay, Amazon, contractors, Google, your state, attorney general, consumer complaint. Your landlord, won't return your deposit, won't fix the heat, etc. Google, your city, tenant advocate. They typically have excellent, free advice. Kind of everything falling apart, out of money, need housing help, low cost/free health or mental services, etc. Call 211, works in many cities but not all. It's like an artisanal version of this post, they will personally help you find all the local services. This worked for me with my nightmare of a Frontier experience. When I moved and had to get a new ISP, I went with Frontier because of the price. The internet never started working, they refused to send a tech out and instead sent me 2 more replacement modems. After a pretty short amount of time trying the modems with no success, I called and canceled, and they confirmed it looked like I never had working internet, and they said no bills, etc. It's all taken care of. Except every month for about half a year, they would send me a bill for multiple months of internet that I never received or was even a customer for in terms of length of time. Every month I would spend at least an hour on hold with at least one phone call to have the bill removed from my account. It never got fixed. I didn't really know what to do. They kept saying the issue had been dealt with and every call ended up the same way. There was no dispute of the charges, they knew they shouldn't be on the bill, it was fixed. Finally, when the bill I got came with a notice saying it was going to collections in a couple weeks if I didn't pay, I posted on this sub and received advice to contact the FCC and file a complaint. Within a few days of me doing that, I was called by someone much higher up in Frontier and they told me they received my complaint and that it should really truly be all fixed now. And finally it was. But it really did take the FCC complaint. Yay. Congrats. And thank you for filing that complaint because it also helps other people. If your landlord tries to evict you without notice, or they try to keep your security deposit for some BS reason, tell them you'll file a complaint with your state's Office of Attorney General. Once they tried to keep my deposit because the hallway was dirty and they had to paint it. I've been living there for 3 years. Told them I'm filing a complaint with the AG and that from now on all communication will be in writing. 15 minutes later I get a phone call from the office letting me know they decided to return my security deposit. The worst they could have legally done was charge you for the painting work and remit the rest of the deposit to you. Still, shady behavior, especially conducting business over the phones. I work in property management and I insist on getting everything in writing. Everything. I don't want to deal with, he said, she said, shit. Written record is everything. PS photos, people. Take lots of photos when you move into a place. Move-in inspection forms can be vague, which can lead to disputes when tenants move out. Photos can clear everything up. Receipts help, too. I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment and none of the windows had blinds. I bought blinds for all windows and spent hours hanging them. I'm not handy. 2 years later I move put and ask the property manager if he wants me to take them down or leave them there. Leave them. Okay, cool. A week later I get the deposit back less half. The itemized list has a bunch of small BS things that you just expect the manager to charge, but that came out to 1/8 the difference. The big charge? Blinds. I call up that hat and he says, well, you guys destroyed them. Not true, so we need to replace them. I told him, via email, that since I bought the blinds and still have the receipt that I'll be picking up my blinds and taking him to small claims court for my deposit. He called me right away to tell me that I'll be getting my deposit back. I was a thorn in the manager's side, though. They tried pulling all sorts of shady shit on the tenants, mostly the other tenants, and I fought back everything they tried pulling on us. I've resolved this since then, but back in December I had a fraudulent iPhone ordered on my AT&T account. Seemed like it was happening to a lot of people and all during the same time frame. It shipped the same day it was ordered. I swung by AT&T right after work and they couldn't get through the fraud line and I couldn't. The phone reps couldn't help. Even when I told them the shipment was intercepted and phone was returned, no one could help. I was on hold for fraud for over 6 hours. After assuring me it was taken care of, I still got charged for the phone. It took 2 months to get it settled. Who would I have filed a complaint with? Oh man. I would issue a chargeback on my card. You tell your own bank the charge is fake and they fix it immediately, and then file a complaint with the FCC. I'm sorry that happened. I've no experience with trying to dispute a charge on a debit card, but my understanding is that the major difference between the chargeback processes on credit/debit cards is that on a debit card the bank will give you your money back after they've concluded the investigation, which can take anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. With a credit card, they immediately remove the disputed amount from your balance so it doesn't affect your available credit and you're not charged interest on it. So, in terms of cash flow, credit card chargebacks are much preferable. I think it's generally also easier to initiate a dispute on a credit card. I'm super particular about who I'll give my debit card information to, usually, only use it at ATMs if I need cash, because if someone steals my card info then I'm probably out whatever cash they steal for at least a couple of weeks. Credit cards is a non-issue. As well, credit cards typically earn you some sort of rewards with each purchase. Might as well get something for spending your money. The only real reason not to use a CC for everything is if you A, can't get one, or B, would be irresponsible with one. You're close, but not quite correct. Your bank will put the fraudulent dollar amount in your bank and then investigate. If they find that it wasn't fraudulent, they'll withdraw that amount again. The bank/credit company don't actually do any of the investigating, they're the middleman to the middleman, if that makes any sense. Visa etc. are the ones actually offering the service and they track down and figure out what actually happened. Federal Trade Commission or your local/state Public Utilities Commission. The FCC will also handle issues like this because it was pertaining to a telephone billing issue, but it's not really within scope, and after new rules they've offloaded this to the FTC. Your state attorney general is also a good place because they often have staff for handling issues of this nature. Never complain to the FTC. It's a circular filing folder. They don't resolve individual complaints, they just file them. They only take action on huge cases and it's to end a practice, not help a person. And all the places I mentioned share data with the FTC using a system called Sentinel, so they get the data anyway. Prioritize getting real help. Oh, good to know. Right. They don't tell people. I can't count the number of times Comcast has tried to charge me a modem rental fee, even though I've had my own modem for years and years. I've had to call them, had to show them proof I bought my own modem, etc., and still every so often, around once a year or so, I'll get a letter stating that through their records that they found out I wasn't being charged correctly, blah blah, and it all starts over. So freaking annoying. Oh. Complain. You will get your own personal customer service executive. I finally insisted and got an email address. Bob and I are cool. Can I get accounts off my credit report that I didn't legit open? Yes. Dispute with your credit report, and if they don't remove it, use the CFPB link to file a credit report complaint. They will fix it in days. I did TransUnion dispute and got some stuff off. But there are a few that wouldn't come off and I know I didn't open them, but I don't have proof. There was also some addresses I didn't live at and some employment I never worked at, but when I tried to dispute through Experian it said I couldn't cause 3 accounts reported the same info. Perfect. Complain to CFPB against Experian and it will be fixed in a week or 2. I just did. I did all 3 credit agencies. Thanks. I really hope this helps out. Yay. Tell us what you hear back. This is really useful, thanks. My home was destroyed by Hurricane Harvey and Spectrum. Time Warner continued to charge me for internet 6 months after the storm. I even found time to request to cancel 2 weeks after the storm, when I was literally homeless, to avoid a situation like this, but evidently someone didn't follow through. After a long and painful process they gave me 3/4 of my money back, but I'm still owed the other 1/4. Every time I call and explain the situation I'm told that someone will get in contact with me to sort it out in 4 to 5 business days, and every time I hear nothing. I've probably spent 12 hours on the phone with them at this point and I'm at my wit's end. Hopefully the FCC can help. FCC absolutely will help. Good lucks. Does it matter if you already paid off the bill? I went for an annual physical check and nothing was wrong until I asked one question to the doctor and all of a sudden this visit became non-preventive care deemed by the insurance company. They said since I asked about a simple symptom, even though the doctor think the symptom doesn't need further diagnosis, this whole visit became diagnosis and they wouldn't cover it. Is there any way I can file to agency? Thanks. Yes. State Insurance Commissioner. Focus on being billed by them rather than the doctor in the complaint. Edit. LMK if you need help finding. I just need to know your state, unless you're a federal employee or on Medicaid, can help then too, it's just different. I had been paying ahead of my health insurance premium payment. Suddenly I got a notice of cancellation. I kept calling every number for the health insurance company to fix it, but nobody would help. I ended up filing a complaint with the Better Business Bureau and then got a call the next day from the billing management and they had my account fixed within a couple of days. I just wanted to share my story that these companies do help. Very glad BBB helped here, but they are typically garbage. Gov regulates the companies, BBB is just a rando org. I feel it needs to be said based on some of the replies in this thread. Please read your bills. You will see all sorts of things and can catch very expensive errors early on, which gives you grounds to fight them. If you're paying them for 11 months, then realize it gives them the ability to argue that. Check your bills often. I can tell from your tone and message that you care about consumers. That's admirable and you are great. However, as a fellow consumer protector, I'd ask you to rethink it. I think this advice is bullshit. Even if you're a superstar consumer and watch like a hawk, you know who is not. Sick old ladies. If a company's business model is based even in part on things slipping by people because they're not equipped or able to catch them, those companies are un-American and deserve to have complaints filed against them. You know, the second there's an issue that costs your bank money with your card, they freeze it. They also know if you're getting recurring or suspicious charges, and you're literally paying them to take care of the account. Why do they get to make you do all the work? It's not reasonable for lots of the American population, whether for literacy, time, or financial comprehension reasons.
If you enjoyed this week's effective way to waste time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you are enjoying the series, leave me a comment below. A special shout out to the content creators. You frickin' rock.